I wanted to, so this weekend I had the wonderful opportunity of going on a backpacking trip into the wilderness. And it was just so beautiful. I mean, anytime, we're so lucky living in Colorado for all the beauty that the mountains offer. And one of the things that I always recognize when I go into the woods, whether it's just for a day hike but especially when I sleep in the woods for a couple of nights, is the importance of quiet, of silence, of taking time to get away from the constant bombardment of noise input, as well as just the world of being a human doer instead of a human being. And I was thinking a lot about this while hiking and while resting in the woods. And then this morning in my inbox, I got a notice that Taiwan has just created the first silent forest or silent hike, I should say. So there is a hike through a forest in Taiwan that is now a silent hike, that there can't be more than one human noise every 15 minutes. And that includes all sorts of human noise. So I think that's really beautiful. Can you imagine if we created more spaces like the essence of what we felt like as children in the library, where we had to use hushed voices, where we had to keep our noise levels down. So if you experience noise pollution, which I'm sure you do if you live in Denver, but even just in your own home or in your own way that you utilize your speech, we can do a lot to invite more silence in, invite more quiet in. And I'm sure you know the feeling that when you have these moments, especially when they're extended moments, that the froth, it's kind of like a cappuccino with all this froth on the top, and the froth kind of dissipates, and you can come into that calm, still pool of the mind a little bit more easily. So, of course, our practice offers these opportunities. It's my voice. Sorry, I am very much a talker through the practice. But I encourage you to create moments in your yoga realms for yourself, meditation, where you sit in silence. And even if the mind is full, having some spaciousness around noise can be such a huge boon to our well-being on so many levels. So let's start with a little quiet here. And I encourage you, if you want, during the practice today, to mute me at any moment. Especially, you all know, my words. You've been studying with me for a long time. So perhaps just take a quick peek. Oh, we're doing that pose now. We're doing that pose now. And I know how much you appreciate the visualizations and the cueing, but perhaps take a moment in your practice to really cultivate some internal silence. So as you said, relax, do what you can to melt through your shoulders, create a sense of ease through your body. Imagine yourself sitting in your favorite nature spot. Could be sitting on a rock by a mountain lake, could be on the beach with the lap of the waves, could be your backyard, your favorite park, anywhere. And quiet does not have to mean, or silence does not have to mean quiet. That the sounds of nature come alive when we quiet our own being. Allow your shoulders to rest. Feel a sense of lift and loft in your spine. quieting of all the expressions on your face. Melt in and hear the sound of your breathing. And as you hear the ambient noise, either in my home that's coming through your computer or in your own home, what can you do to detach, this sense of pratyahara, the detachment from our senses, freeing from being a slave to the senses? Can you let yourself retreat in, both in your vision and your hearing? And as you're ready, place your palms together at your heart. Bow into your practice. Offer an intention. And release the hands. And let's come onto your back for your practice. All right, so as you lie down on your back, let's come into the state of reaching. So reach the right side, reach the left side. Let's come into an awareness of some opening and awakening in the body. And then bring the knees into the chest and let's rock a little bit from side to side, swaying. Breathing deeply. Start to feel that the sound of your breath is the sound of your practice, that it's the natural sound that you can accommodate to. Let's circle the knees, kind of traveling in one direction. And then traveling in another direction. And then let's pull the knees apart, away from the midline, traveling in a third direction with the way our hip joints move. All right, bring your right knee into your chest. Stretch your left leg long on the floor and move your feet about, rolling around in your ankles, moving around in the bones of your feet. And then switch sides. Bring your left knee into your chest, right leg comes along on the floor and move around again. So feel your ankles, your calves, all the little bones of your feet start to broaden and awaken. Like turning the lights on. So much sensory awareness is available to us. Okay. Then let's bring both legs straight up in the air. Hold the backs of your thighs, maybe behind your knees, maybe higher up, wherever it feels comfortable. And let's flex and point the feet here for a moment. Just allow not only the feeling of stretch and movement in your ankles and in your feet, but sense into your spine. Can you root your femur bones a little deeper into the earth and feel that little micro gap under your low back? Feel the reach of your crown. Now separate your feet apart and roll your ankles. Roll them the other way. And then bring your knees back into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. Grab onto the feet or behind the knees, whichever is more comfortable. And you can rock in happy baby pose. You can be still. So whatever's feeling nice on your back this morning. Feel the weight of your head get heavy and rest. Feel the compression of that sense of like a squat would feel. Feel the length of your spine. So see if you can dip the tailbone to the earth. All right, and then open up one leg, stretching your left leg straight, feeling a stretch through the inner groin here. You can lean a little bit to the left if you prefer. And then open up your right leg. So it might not go all the way straight. It might go all the way straight. You might change your hand position from your foot to your leg, whatever feels nice. We're just exploring, opening up the body here a bit. And then back into a happy baby. Then open yourself up to a big old star. Stretch your limbs wide. And then exhale and draw your knees and your head up. One more time. Expanding your body into a star, and then closing your body up into a little ball. Roll over onto your side. Come up onto your hands and your knees. And let's find our way into some movement of the spine. So as you move through some cat-cows, start to listen to the sound of your breathing. Taking time to pay attention to the slow rhythm and pace of your breath. See if you can use the sound of your breath as an anchor point for your mind. That we can, pratyahara isn't just removing our attachment from the outside sense. It's also drawing our attention into that focus that our senses can provide. So move and sway any kind of range of motion that you want your spine to experience right now. As we warm up our bodies, get to know our bodies, and then drop your hips down towards child's pose and settle back. Walk the hands forward, drop some weight into the pelvis, relax the base of the skull. As you're ready, walk the hands over to one side of the mat so you open up the rib cage even more. Take your time to experience the feeling and sound of your breath. And then walk over to the other side, drop some weight into the pelvis, release tension through the base of the skull. And then come back to center. All right, let's find our way again onto all fours. And then as you're ready, lift all the way up into dog pose. Take your time here. See what it feels like to pedal your feet, maybe knead your hands and feet like a cat. Every time you lift a foot and then release it back down, can you feel the melting, the yielding, the sense of making contact with the earth through whatever you're touching, your mat, your rug, your wood floor, your any kind of floor, all the way down to the earth below you. Let your knees bend a fair amount. Once you start to settle, and there's no rush to settle, you can move your hips and kind of really just feel into the body. Once you do settle, bring your awareness back to the sound of your breathing. Melt through your skull. A full inhale and a complete exhale. All right, let's walk our feet forward again. Fold into Uttanasana. Bend your knees, whatever place you want them to be, and melt the skull. Feel a sense of deep heaviness. Let all the weight of your brain rest upon your bones. Melt through the base of the skull, the jaw, all the skin on your face. Let the inner ears soften. Halfway lift now. Get some stretch in the body, the backs of the legs, the spine. And exhale and melt and fold again. Feel the release and the ease. One more time, halfway lift, hands on legs or blocks or floor. As you melt, melt the base of your skull. Drop your weight, sit bones down, chest rises. Bring your arms up in the air and feel that sense of opening. Lean back if it's a nice feeling for your body, arms overhead. Bring yourself into the open chest, the big breath. And then let's cactus, open the arms and feel the back body open. And then release the hands down and give them a good shake. All right, pause here in Tadasana for a moment. Rock up onto your toes, rock back onto your heels. Maybe it makes you tip a little bit because you go to your edge. So just find your way into feeling the contact with the ground. And as you're ready, sink your weight. Sink the Tadasana weight down. Soft knees. Breathe into the pelvis, the low belly. Once again, connecting with the sound of your breathing. Inhale, take a rise upward, arms to the sky. Exhale and fold and relax the skull and the spine. Inhale for a halfway lift. Feel the rhythm of your breath be your guide. Exhale and melt again. Step your left foot back, right foot comes forward, lunging now. Opening up through the heart, collarbones stay broad. Let's start to move, straightening and bending the front leg any bit that you can. Keeping your foot grounded, or maybe you want to lift your toes up and just ground your heel. So find the movements to explore what feels good. Can you stay with the sound of your breath? All right, ground your legs, feel your roots, rise up to crescent lunge. When you're ready, opening the heart, full breath in, full breath out. And then release your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind. Be very mindful of your lumbar spine here. No compression. Rise up through your spine, open through your chest, hug your collar or your shoulder blades toward each other without compressing the lumbar spine. And then release the hands down, back foot comes forward, fold, relax the base of your skull. Halfway lift, spine gets longer. Feel into the stretch of the feet and the legs. Exhale and melt here. Other foot comes back. Now our left foot is in front. Open the chest, experience your breathing again. Find the rhythm of your breath. Flow within the rhythm of your breathing as you bend and straighten your front leg. There's no destination, so you do not have to be all the way straight. Just let it be about awakening and coming to attunement with the breath. And ground yourself, feel your roots. Steady your lunge before you rise up. You can always take the front foot out to the side more. You can always put the back heel down on the ground. You can bring your arms anywhere that supports breath or balance. Make the pose your own. Open the heart. Feel into the breath. The sound, the rhythm. Sense of grounding. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. Stretch your arms back, open the chest, shoulder blades hug to each other. Be mindful to support with your core so you're not just sinking and falling into the lumbar spine. Full breaths. And then release the hands and come back to dog pose. The spine gets longer, freer. Feel into the symmetry. Feel into the inversion. Feel into the breath. All right, let's come forward into a plank. Steady yourself here. Find the integrity of that central line of the body, the core. Shoulders come away from the ears. Inner thighs lift a bit to the sky. Find your breath traveling to all the hidden places that you might not normally feel the breath go. Let's find our way all the way to the ground. Bring your knees down first. If your shoulders need support, roll the shoulders back a few times. Just feel those shoulder blades move. And then as you're ready, rising up a cobra. Exhale. And melting back down. One more time. Rhythm of your breath is important here. As you come up, breathe in. As you come down, breathe out. No hands, so hover your hands like little hovercrafts. Elbows come back, engage your core, keep the neck loose, start to feel the back muscles. Melt, come up onto all fours, swirl the spine about, free things up. Swaying through your hips if you want, moving through some cat-cows. Any kind of movement of the spine that supports. Stretch back to child's pose. Walk the hands forward. Take a moment here to experience your breathing again. Listen to the sound. Come up onto all fours. Left arm lifting high, reaching it up to the sky. Exhale, that arm slides under, finding a twist. Shoulders are away from the ears. Breathe into the back of the body. Unwind the posture a bit, stretch the back side of the shoulder, drop back towards child's pose, chest faces the ground, the arm is still under you. Collarbones widen. Now reach that arm back up. Hand comes down onto the ground. Second side, lifting the arm up. Exhale, bring that arm through. Gaze to the floor, neck is soft. Travel the breath in your body. Be aware of how the sensation of your body changes as you inhale and as you exhale. Can you melt the jaw, the neck? Come out of the pose some, chest faces the floor, hips back toward the heels, opening up the back side of the shoulder. And then inhale, arm lifting up to the sky. Hand coming down onto the ground. All right, move the spine about. Curl the toes under and find dog pose again. Little breaths here. Notice where you sink. Notice where you kind of lose the links of extension. Is there any place that buckles? See if you can find space. Walk both feet forward, come into Uttanasana, relax the head. Halfway lift, melt and come back down. Chair pose, touch your toes or stick a block between your legs or feet apart, whatever is your favorite way of finding chair pose. Okay, so squat into the legs, reach the arms back for a moment, open up through the chest. See if you can feel that you've lost some tension across the neck. Okay, so the arms are back, palms facing the floor. Start to lift your chest a little bit higher. Feel the work of your legs, the blood flow moving into your thighs, the sense of weight and grounding. When you're ready, reach the arms up overhead and feel the back of your body. Find a little bit of a back bend. Even weight through your feet. Ground into your heels. Keep the neck soft. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Rise up if you can. Big breath. And then bring the heels back down. Palms coming down. Okay, stand in Shavasana for a moment. Find your breath. We're going to root into the right foot and bring the left knee up. So coming into a one-legged stance, be mindful of how a balance challenge impacts the quiet that you're developing in your mind. Bring your arms out for extra balance. Find your breath. And then bring your arms up. Soften the knee you're standing on. Let's turn this into a twist. Finding the shoulders, letting them relax down, hug into the midline with your inner thighs. Use your core. The obliques are doing the work here. Hands back up. Step that foot back to a lunge if you can. Finding the fullness of your breath. Extend upward, lengthen your spine, and then release the hands down. Take the left hand on the floor. Right arm comes to the sky. Shoulders away from the ears. Notice if your hip is dropping down or if you're sticking your hip out to the side. Find that integrity. Can you still feel the rhythm of your breathing here? Hands come down to the ground. Step back to dog pose. Full breath. Let's walk our feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. One more time, a chair. Squat down. Decide whether you want blocks or no. Arms start out behind you, palms facing the ground. Root into the heels. Relax the shoulders. As things get a little more trying in your efforts, still listen and feel the rhythm of your breathing. As you're ready, maybe the arms can come up now. Maybe you need a different position for your shoulders or your breath. Finding the inhales, finding the exhales. Up onto your tippy toes. Find the breath. Melt the shoulders, melt the neck. And then release your hands and feet down. If they're not already, take your feet hip width apart. Ground yourself into your yielding. Full breaths here. Let's take our roots into our left foot. Bring your right knee up for some balance. Okay. Bring your arms out to your side. Get broad and big and wide. Notice what your standing leg wants to do. Do you like to pop your hip out? Do you like to lock your leg? Do you like to push your pelvis forward? Do you feel a sense of balance? Just see if you can keep the thigh bone back, the hip in, and the knee soft. When you're ready, let's twist to the side. Shoulders come down. Use your core muscles. Feel those obliques. Let your breath move into your obliques. Soft shoulders. Can you root to rise here? Is there spaciousness through your spine? Yeah, let's bring that arm back up. Step your leg in the air back, finding a lunge, opening up through the crescent. Feel your heart expand. Take your time. Any support you need, the back heel can come down. Release your hands down. Right hand coming to the earth, left arm to the sky. Now you might have your hand on a block. You might have your other hand on your knee instead of lifting to the sky. So take the variation that works for your body. How's your breath? Can you feel the ease through your neck? It's easy when we twist to get bound up in our neck. See if you can relax that down. Hand coming back to the earth, come back to dog pose. Full breaths in, melt away. Come forward into a plank. Ground yourself. Four corners of hands, rooting into the earth. The spreading of the toes. All right, let's put the knees down and find the earth again. Put your arms out in front of you. Touch your palms, like your index fingers and your thumbs. Make a little triangle in there if you want. And you can choose a different position with your arms, whatever is more stable. We're just going to come up to a very gentle back bend here. Reach your feet And a little bit of movement in our cobra here. We're gonna reach the right arm up, tip to the side a little bit. Exhale and bring that hand down. Other arm up. Feel the back body work. Coming back down. Rest on the floor. We're gonna bring our hands back further, not all the way like a normal cobra pose. Maybe our hands are at our shoulder line or a little bit forward. You decide. Okay. We're gonna inhale right, a little bit of a twist. Exhale back down. Inhale left, lifting up, coming back down. Last version, take the arms wider like goalposts or however the variation works best for your body. Now check out your spine, make sure your core is supporting you. Move into your legs some weight. As you inhale, lift the right. As you exhale, lower it back down. Inhale to lift the left. You do not have to go super high. Exhale to come back down. Up onto all fours and move the spine about. Okay, sway your hips, roll your shoulders, free up any movement in the spine. Maybe child's pose is where you want to go. So let the transition be all about freedom and ease. Come up to a dog or right to Uttanasana if you're skipping some dogs. Find the length of your body. Breathe well here. Thigh bones up and back. Spread the bones of your hands and feet. Whatever foot you naturally want to bring forward, see if you can start with the other foot as you walk your way forward. Chair pose, third time's the charm. So drop some weight. Arms coming back, palms facing the floor. Lift, start to begin to lift your chest a little bit more. When you're ready, reaching the arms to the sky. Take a breath. Twist open to the right. Feel the muscles along your spine help you. Inhale, arms up. Twisting to the left. So of course it's your core, but it's also the muscles in your back. You don't have to have your arms out. They can be on your hips. Inhale back. Find your chair. Rising up onto your tippy toes. Okay, and don't worry if you knock down a couple times onto your heels, all is well. Neck is soft. Bring your arms wide. Relax your shoulders. Heels come back down onto the ground. Uttanasana. Soften. Separate your feet hip width apart. Finding your breath. Now you might want to bring them back together. You might want to stay hip width apart. Finding your way back to a chair. This time, instead of bringing our arms up, let's have our palms together at our heart or out to the side, whichever feels more centering to you. Put your weight into your right foot and hover your left. Start to turn on your glutes, your hamstrings in a slightly different way. Press through that foot as if you're trying to stand, but you're not. And then bear weight evenly through both feet for a moment. Reorganize your legs and then feel the weight come into your left. Okay, lifting the right. So if you have a wobble knee, if you feel like this is very difficult, sometimes having a block between your legs and just allowing your heel to lift up or just hovering ever so slightly off the ground can give you a little bit more stability. Whatever you're finding, your glutes, your hamstrings are working hard. Okay, foot down, rising back up. Exhale, release the arms. Pause here for a moment. Just come into the sound of your breathing. What is tense in your body that can surrender? What joints are locked that can become free? Where is the breath traveling? Where is it not? All right, take your legs wide to turn to the side edge of your mat. Okay, we're going to bend our knees And come, just start to feel a little bit of movement coming to the left side, coming to the right side. We're going to go a little deeper into this. So finding a lunge all the way if your knee bends, if this is allowed in your body, if your knee enjoys this feeling, stretch open through your collarbones. Just go as deep into the knee lunge and hip lunge as you can. Okay, find your way over to the other side. Collarbones softly moving down. Or shoulder blades moving down, collarbones wide. Okay, come back up. Heel toe your feet in. We're going to go wide again in a moment. But first, just come into a little bit more sensible squat where we're a little bit more internally supported, so we're not so wide. So decide where that is for you. How wide do you like your legs for a comfortable squat? All right, so go ahead and feel the knees root back into the hips. Support, you can either put your elbows inside your knees or on top of the knees, whichever feels best. Opening the breath. Spread out the bones of your feet. Feel your ground. Imagine you were going to stand up, but you're not, so press your feet. Feel the breath. And then slowly, slowly use those leg muscles to rise all the way back up. If you're dizzy, just go ahead and find your chin tuck and the palms to your heart. If you're not, spread your limbs wide. Walk your feet a little bit wider now and come into a goddess pose squat. So you can hold your knees. You can put your elbows down and go lower with your torso. You can do an experiment of, both. You can rock a little bit from left to right. So find the work of opening up your legs in this way. All right, now ground your feet like we're trying to stand up, but we're not going to stand up. We're just going to stay right where we are, but we're moving into the earth. Start to come higher with your torso. Put your arms anywhere you want. Ground into your legs. Spin your feet so toes press into the earth and then draw back toward the wall behind you. Your heels draw down and a little bit forward. Breathing well. Okay, and then rise up, standing star. Turn your foot out to the right and come into warrior pose. Okay. So just enjoy the openness of your legs these standing poses provide. Root to rise. Discover your breathing. Is there quiet to be had in the difficult postures when we're starting to work energetically and physically, and our breath has to be utilized for our strength? Can you still seek the silence? Reverse your warrior and lift into the length of your body. Stretch your legs straight and find triangle pose. If you like using blocks, hand on block. If you like using your leg, hand on leg. Be light. Root into the feet and ground. All right, turn to the right foot. Bring your hands down onto the ground and step back to dog pose. Pedaling your feet, feel the earth. Return to that sense of what symmetry offers the mind, what the inversion gives to the sense of quiet. Come forward into a plank. Steady yourself. Lower yourself down to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale and melt. Arms down at your sides. Okay. Lift your right leg. Press your hands into the earth. Lift your chest. Feel the work of the back body. Exhale and melt. Left leg lifts. Stable core. Lift the chest. Hands don't have to push hard, but they're grounded. Relax and melt. Up onto all fours. Move the spine about in whatever way that serves. Use the transitions as an opportunity to free the breath and body. If you like dog poses, find another one. If not, just come into Uttanasana and come up to stand. We'll all eventually meet there. Rising up when you're ready. Pause in Tadasana for a moment. Listen to the rhythm of your breathing. Ground your legs. Take your legs wide again. So this time as we move, we're going to rise up with our arms, standing star. Exhale, come to a goddess. Now you can bring your arms anywhere that serves you. So serving you might be hands to your heart, or holding on to your legs somewhere, or having a big wide freedom in your chest. Find what's right. Ground your feet, spin your toes back, spin your heels forward. Breathing deeply, melt the skull. So whatever tension you feel in your neck, see what you can do to release. All right, and press up straight. Turn your foot to the right, to the left foot turns to the left. Find your breath. Find your way to your version of the Virabhadrasana 2. Try not to let the effort create turbulence in either the breath or the mind. Come into that state of observing, watching the breath, steadying the breath, seeking the effort and the ease. Ready, reverse your warrior, lift that arm up. Okay. And find your version of triangle pose. Open up to the straight legs, to the open heart. Feel into the rhythm of your breath again. All right, turn to your left foot, hands down onto your mat. Even if you're backwards, maybe you're forwards, and just find dog pose. A full inhale, full exhale. You can bend your knees as much as your body asks for you to do so. Let's come finding a plank. Integrate, so find that straight line in the body. The shoulders are away from the ears. Inner thighs lifting. Let the breath seep into the little nooks and crannies. Lower yourself down. You can find your knees coming down to the ground first, if that's what your body wants. This time, arms overhead. If your shoulders allow for that. Okay. Lift your right leg and your left arm. The chest can come up too. Exhale and release that. Left leg, right arm. Finding the breath. Stabilize through your core. Exhale and melt. Everything coming up. Arms, legs, chest. Neck is soft. Breathe into the back of your body. Breathe into the diaphragm. And then melt. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine around. Swish, swish. Find child's pose. Relax your breathing here. All right, so perhaps you like coming to stand through Dog pose, perhaps you like to just stand up. So find your way and turn to the front of your mat if you ended up backwards. Just pause in Tadasana again. Let's ground here. Let's feel the energy of the soft earth below us, the open sky above us, feeling of our breathing body. Inhale up onto your tippy toes. Don't worry if you don't go all the way high. Bring your breath. Heels down. Chair pose. Arms back. Find breath. Knees back into pelvis. And reach the arms up. Find your breath. Twisting to the right. Inhale back up. Twisting to the left. Bringing it back up. Tippy toes again. And heels come down. Let's rest here in Tadasana for a moment. So beginning to stretch our hips a little bit while in balance. Ground through your right foot. We're going to bring our left foot over for figure four. Now, if you know that you're like, whoa, all over in space, try a little support. So you can put your buttocks against a piece of furniture like this, or against a wall, so that you can take the balance out of the equation if need be. Find your breath in. Now expand. Put your arms anywhere that you want them to be. Draw your femur bones back. Sit bones wide. Maybe your posture, you like to lean forward more in this pose. So find what works for you. We're not straight with our standing leg. We're in a squat, like these chair poses we've been doing. Okay, and then lifting that knee up. Place your foot down onto the ground and pause. Close your eyes. Find that internal rhythm. Root your left foot down. Right foot comes up. Cross it over. Now, a lot of times we kind of do weird things. We shift our hips out to the side or hike one hip up, turn. See if you can keep your pelvis stable. If you need the support of furniture or a wall, take the support. So you can take the balance out. Okay, and then put your arms up if you want. Put your arms out. Whatever serves. Maybe you like to lean forward more. Whatever you're doing, try not to round your back. If you are leaning forward, spine stays long, sit bones stay wide. Okay, and then rise up, bring that knee up. Place your foot down, fold forward. Relax the body. Neck is soft. Halfway lift. Melt again. Let's come down onto our back, however you want to get there. Breathing deeply. Pause here for a moment with your knees bent, your feet wide, hip width. All right, then let's lift up into a bridge. Open up the shoulders, climb on top of them. Keep the neck free, ground your legs. Four corners of your feet. Use this as an opportunity to feel space in your torso. Let your exhales be all the way out. Let's melt our body down onto the ground. Rest here for a moment. So you decide thigh over thigh for a hip stretch, or reverse pigeon pose with right foot over left knee. So choose the way you want your hip to feel right now. If you're grabbing onto your leg, try to do it with sense of ease. So we're not, yanking on our neck. Have as much grab where you can easily grab, so that there's a sense of softness. The weight of your skull can relax. Step foot down onto the ground and change sides. So now we're either crossing left leg over right or left foot on right knee, and doing the other side. Okay, so whatever the second side is for you, stretch through the big toe and the inner heel if you're in reverse pigeon pose. Sit bones stay wide. Be mindful to not hike one hip higher up toward the shoulder than the other. Feel the heaviness of the head, the ease in your shoulders. Melt through your face. Start to begin the feeling of Shavasana a bit in your body. Treat yourself to ease. Are you still listening to the sound of your breathing? Relax your legs, starfish your body out. Big breath, knees into your chest for a hug. Feet back down, head back down. Lift your hips over to the right a couple of inches. Drop your knees over to the left. Find your twist. Let your head relax into the twist. Your exhales are full. And bring the knees back up. Scoot your hips over to the left, knees drawing up to the chest and over to the right. Full breaths here. An inhale and an exhale. Coming back to neutral. Maybe your knees want to come to your chest. Maybe you want to come into happy place. Maybe you want to bring your knees to your forehead. So whatever is a comfortable place for you to finish your practice. And then let's find Shavasana. So Shavasana can look like so many different ways. You can be on your side. You can be in a supported child's pose. You can have support of bolsters and blankets and eye pillows and all sorts of supports. As you settle your body, drop your weight. Drop your weight. Melt your face, your neck. Come into the rhythm of your breathing again. And as you go deep in Shavasana, listen to the sound of your own silence. Let's begin to deepen the breath. Pay attention again if you drifted back into the sound of your breath, the feeling of quiet in the body. Melt your weight again. Actually, find movement. Come onto your side as you're ready. Take your time. Eventually, bring yourself to sit. Bring your palms together to your heart. And let's offer the piece of our practice. Share your energy with someone. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.